Hello, I'm Jeff Paur, senior writer with RealTime Fantasy Sports, and welcome to another edition of the RealTime Fantasy Sports Show. On today's show, I'm going to give you 5 of my favorite waiver wire pickups for Week 8 of the fantasy football season. It is not the best waiver wire, in my opinion, of the season, but there are some guys out there that I think could help. It's just not super deep like it has been in past weeks, but there's some guys out there that I think could help this week, especially the first guy on the list, and it is Kyle Monangai of the Bears. The rookie is owned on 40.9% of leagues on our site, so he's available in more than half the leagues on our site. He is getting a lot more involved in this Bears offense. Last week, he had 13 carries for 81 yards and a touchdown. DeAndre Swift wasn't quite 100% healthy in the game, giving Monangai more chances, but the Bears really like to use a timeshare at running back. New coach Ben Johnson likes to have that approach like he did with the Detroit Lions. And with the way Monangai played last week, I think it could be more of a timeshare going forward with Swift. They really look great working in tandem together last week in Chicago. So I would not be surprised if this is more of a thing going forward. And Monangai is getting double-digit touches on a weekly basis. So I definitely think he's worth adding for fantasy teams if you're looking for some running back help. My next pickup for this week is Oronde Gadsden of the Los Angeles Chargers. The tight end is owned on 11.7% of leagues on our site. I've actually listed him several times in this video and in my article wavering the last few weeks, and he had that breakout game this past week, though, so I'm sure his owner percentage will go way up. He had 7 catches for a lot of yards last week, over 100 yards last week. I think it was 117. And his last 2 games, he's been targeted 17 times. He has 14 catches for 232 yards. He has 7 catches each of his last 2 games. He's becoming a top target in this offense. I don't think it's a fluke. He's a talented pass catcher. The Chargers are throwing the ball more successful lately as well, and he's gaining the trust of Justin Herbert. So I think if you're looking for a tight end number 1, Gadsden has some good appeal the rest of the way. I think he could be a low-end number 1 tight end going forward. My next pickup for this week is wide receiver Alec Pierce of the Indianapolis Colts. He's owned on 19.8% of leagues on our site. He got the most work of his season last week, caught 5 passes for 98 yards on 10 targets. He did not have more than 5 targets in a game before week 7, but he got a lot of looks last week. He's topped 65 yards 3 times this year. He's a big play threat in this offense. He gets some weekly chances. I think he's another guy that's a good spot starter going forward. You never know when he could have that big game. Also has a knack for finding the end zone. So I think Pierce could be a good spot play here going forward. My next pickup at receiver is Xavier Legette of the Carolina Panthers. He's owned on 15.7% of leagues on our site. He more than doubled his season stats last week, caught 9 passes for 92 yards on 11 targets. He has touchdowns 2 of his last 3 games, becoming a bigger part of this Panthers offense right now. Might be worth a speculative add. I'm not sure if he's going to keep up the consistency, but I like what I've seen lately. Maybe it gets him going the rest of the way and he becomes a lot more consistent for fantasy teams. So I think Legette could be a pickup for teams in deeper formats. My last pickup for week 8 of the fantasy football season is Joe Flacco of the Cincinnati Bengals, owned on 27.8% of leagues on our site. He is a starter in Cincinnati, and he's looking better and better each week. He had a big game this past week, scored 29.4 fantasy points. He has 20-plus fantasy points each of his first 2 games with Cincinnati. The Bengals are going to throw the ball a lot. They can't run it very successfully right now. Flacco's going to have some big games as this team plays catch-up. Their defense isn't very good, so I think he's going to be throwing the ball a lot, and he has some great receivers to work with. So I think that really are some big-time positives for Flacco the rest of the season. He could be a good pickup, especially in 2 quarterback leagues. I think he could definitely be worth starting on a weekly basis. But even if you're not in a 2 QB league, you're looking for a spark at quarterback, I like Flacco as a matchup play the rest of the way. All right, those are 5 of my favorite waiver wire pickups for week 8 of the fantasy football season. Good luck navigating those waiver wires. Hope you have a lot of success in getting the players you're targeting. This has been Jeff Paur for RealTime Fantasy Sports.